Audible.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party left the protection of the Fairfolk Elven village of Sherwood, or rather in Sherwood, and journeyed deeper into the forest that slowly became a jungle at the heart of the mountain, to track down Avaben's friend Ual, who had gone on ahead, seemingly in search of the same information the party was after, and having picked up the clues before they arrived. Upon arriving at the gate, they found a large squadron of boomergangers dragging a Gatling gun. Besting them with clever tactics and a well-placed ambush, the party managed to defeat all but 3 of them, and even they were technically bested. And in exchange for their lives and any information, those 3 boomergangers, the same ones who accosted Flowerfall and Paul back in Tortage, fled with their lives intact, but with the party possessing more information. These 3 boomergangers claiming to be a royal family from the land of They. As the party journeyed deeper into the Underdark, they came across a mana vein, which, as they set up camp a bit further ahead, Grelog hoped to profit off of, sending a group of badgers to mine it out and simply leave it for Grelog to collect on the way out. However, unfortunately, there was unforeseen consequences. Mana, as it is wont to do, mutated the badgers that were digging for it, and one of them mutated to be much larger and more ferocious, killed all the others, and started rampaging through the tunnels, seemingly coming across a dark elf patrol from Ostiliant, who ran past the party with a boomerganger in tow, and have stopped to fight. The dark elf patrol, however, seems to consider you all, as in the group, just as much of an enemy as the creature, and unfortunately, your party is sandwiched between these 2 groups of enemies, with the roaring squid-faced badger on one side and an angry group of soldiers on the other. I would like everyone to please roll for initiative.
By the way, because it is important, has the badger taken any damage?
No.
Wow, those guards are shit.
Well, I just haven't attacked him yet.
Didn't we hear gunshots?
You did. That doesn't necessarily mean that A, they hit, or B, even if they did, it inflicted significant injury.
That's what I'm saying. They're shit. I mean, it's like missing the broadside of a barn inside the fucking barn.
Okay, well, I will say, if it makes you feel any better, the actual in-universe reason is because the badger dug out of the walls to attack them, and remember, when you're at point blank, you have disadvantage, so it was legitimately harder for them to land a hit, so they started running to try and put some distance between themselves and the creature to actually have some range to work with, and that's when you guys ran into them.
Speaking of shit, I got a 5 on initiative.
Yeah, I'll do the calls as we go around.
Well,
Let me switch.
now you don't need to because you know what I rolled.
I will need to because I'm going to forget because I have a lot of setup to do.
Ow.
Plus, he has other people to do for.
Yeah, not to mention the enemies. I will say real quick, Austin, I'm assuming you're already in the Roll20 for music.
Yeah, I hear it.
I will also say I do have a battle map for those who benefit from that sort of thing. I'm shifting you over to it now.
I gotta see what icon you used for a fucking giant badger mole.
I'll hit the badger.
Not giant. And Flowerfall, are you, if you're not already, are you good to keep an eye on the stream, just so we know what our audio quality's like?
Oh, sure, one sec.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Wasn't
there
someone who fell? No.
What's that?
Didn't one of the elves fall? And was abandoned, right?
No, they like tripped, but they weren't like basically like everyone ran past them, but they like kept going.
Okay, so I thought it was gonna be bigger.
Well, I mean, you are in a tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Aim at the badger.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna take up like all 3 of those spaces.
Oh, you mean the badger?
Yes.
Yeah, it's big, but it's not like crazy big.
It's apparently it's not any bigger than we are.
Well, I mean, in terms of, bear in mind, that size category can literally take you to superhuman sizes. To get to the next size up, you have to be, like, really, really big.
What size group?
Large, which would be 5 by 5, or rather 10 by 10 space minimum. All right, that is that
So
for
it's large?
No, it's medium. I'm saying that, like, large would be the next size category up. But, like, basically...
You're saying medium can include, like, really big?
Yeah, like, because there's a lot of factors that go into it that aren't important to discuss here. I'm getting the various creatures initiatives. So, I don't, so... and that's
well,
that.
You know what I have to say to that?
Nothing.
You know what I have to say to that?
What do you have to say to that?
Fuck you.
That is you tell me that frequently.
You just say,
Hunter.
damn it, Matthew.
Hunter.
Well,
I fucked him
careful,
first.
or he might just fuck you in this game.
No.
He has power here.
Power. DM's like, yeah, rocks. We're in a cave, right?
You are in a cave.
So he doesn't need rocks. He's got a giant fucking badger and
I know Matthew. I know he's not that guy.
All right, initiative.
He'll just kill you with a firing squad.
Yeah, it's all good for the record. I'm assuming we're just playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
Oh, sorry, mine was 20.
All right, thank you. Flower fall.
And I had 19.
Dang.
All right, you two will go at the same time. 20 to 15. 15 to 10. 10 to 5.
Did you forget?
I got a 9.
Well,
All right, and then a Vabin.
Did you forget?
No.
You
Vabin.
see?
I appreciate you making it more inconvenient for me because I can handle it. It's the older sibling rule, I see.
Yeah, okay. Gonna
All
try
right.
now.
As your party is sandwiched between a mutant
I know.
badger of Grelog's creation and an angry dark elf patrol of guards, the badger is up first.
Of course it is.
I do not think Grelog technically counts as vermin, so it does not
You ask
need.
a Vaben, that would be a sorry.
Would the badger remember me?
Let's
as
find out.
having summoned it? Oh boy.
Are you going to try and appeal to its inner not mutated badger?
I have an idea. Don't know if it'll work.
I mean, isn't that every idea?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's drawing arrows.
Yeah. Okay.
Munch munch.
Grelog, the mutant that you created, lets out another gurgling and starts to stomp rapidly down
Is it
the
an
tunnel.
Ichor beast?
No, not quite. Ichor Beast has more of a like. This is more of a.
Are you good?
Grelog, the mutant that you created, charges down the tunnel and opens up its betentacled maw to bear down on you with a bite.
More of a mole?
Fun.
So it does remember me. Fuck.
You're the reason why it got like this.
Yeah, you're the one that screwed up its everything.
And with out of curiosity, are you allowed to like vault over obstacles in a battle?
Obstacles, yes. Although some, depending on how big they are, I may ask for a roll.
Are these do these rocks require a roll?
No, those rocks will provide you cover, but they do not require extra movement to move past.
Okay.
So if you stay behind one and someone tries to make a ranged attack on you, they will get a not disadvantage, but basically they'll have a penalty to their roll. But the rock itself does not require extra movement. And because I got sloppy, I need to check the ACs on the D&D Beyond.
You got sloppy?
There we go. Yeah, I usually write these down. I just hadn't yet for this campaign. All right. With its bite attack against Grelog, that is... CAC of 17.
Oh, we know it didn't crit.
That is a miss with its bite. Grelog, as it bears down, you manage to dodge backwards out of the way, but you can see its teeth and tentacles like shred the rock at the floor of the cave, and it actually scoops up some of the mushrooms your party was camping around and starts to chew on some of them before reaching up with one of its spade-like claws and going to claw at you.
Badger, 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 badger. Mushroom, mushroom.
It slams down its claw, and as you dodge out of the way again, it digs its claw into a more firm part of the rocks and fungi, and you see that it actually seems to get kind of distracted by the delicious-looking mushrooms at its feet, and starts to kind of sniff at them curiously and seems to completely take its attention off of you for a moment. You may have an opportunity attack if you wish.
So instead of attacking, could I try to cast a spell and talk to it?
No, I'm only something you can do as a reaction right now. You can try and do that on your turn, just not right now.
Then no, I am not going to take an opportunity attack.
Okay. From the looks of it, that is... Yep, it doesn't have... Well, hang on a second. Yeah, I'll say with that roll now. That is the end of the creature's turn. Flower and Fall, you're up. Grelog and Paul on deck.
Okay. Far is it from?
The creature or the patrol? Because there are two groups of enemies.
That creature.
20 feet from you, although Grelog is between you and it, although you can, with 15 feet of movement, get within melee range of it.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to it then.
Okay. Alright. Flower, as you charge into the fray, the creature, again, seems to have completely taken its attention off of your group for the time being, more concerned about the suddenly very interesting mushrooms at its feet. It seems like it can't see very well. What would you like to do?
Whack it with that hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna smack it. Not with a hammer.
With an axe.
Yeah, with an
Alright, so you want to use your, do you want to use your masterwork axe, or?
Yeah, it was given back to me, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, cool.
Alright, and,
They should get a hammer.
Tiny.
And this is a +1, so basically in addition to, whatever you roll and your modifier, you can also add an extra +1.
Okay.
Alright, rolled it.
Let's see. Saki.
Oh no, momento.
What is this for this? Okay, 16.
That is a hit. Roll for damage. And this also has a +1 in addition to any other modifiers.
Cool. I'm trying to find the right dice.
No worries.
Not the right dice.
Hopefully it's not the stinky dice.
I do love those dice, but they're mean to me. That was 9 damage.
All right, 9 damage. Okay. Flower, as you flutter towards it, you swing with your clockwork axe and manage to cleave into the side of the creature's head. And as its blood spatters, all of you, Asari, Grelog, and Flower, who are up near the front, can watch as its blood spatters into the fungi at your feet. The color of the blood actually somewhat matches the bluish fungi. Definitely not a normal, natural color for blood. And it gives a hideous, gurgling as the attack makes impact and shakes its head from side to side in a hideous rage and roars in your direction, Flower. Not seeming able to see you properly, but it definitely knows you're there and is upset.
Ugh.
Anything else on your turn?
Hmm.
You can attack twice as an action, and of course, bonus action to manifest echo.
I will manifest echo.
All right, where you can manifest your echo anywhere within 15 feet of you, as long as it's not occupied. Any preference?
I guess on the other side.
Oh, so you can flank it?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely fair. Okay. Bonus action, you manifest your echo. Just double checking to see if because I know you're not usually a fighter, so making sure you. Yes, you can also. You still have another attack. You can do this action if you want.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll stab it on the other side too.
All right, go for it.
Stabby stab.
And because of the flanking, you have advantage on this.
Okay, cool.
Poke it right in the butt.
That was a 13.
In total,
Yeah.
you added the +1 from the axe, right?
Oh no, 14 then.
All right, that hits.
Wow. It's barely
Wow. Its AC is stinky.
Yeah.
I mean, most creatures aren't all that big.
I mean, so just a
badger.
big ass animal.
Yeah.
It's blind.
It's a badger.
Does the attack also have D1?
Yes, damage
the
also.
one.
Yeah, damage also adds a +1.
Yeah. 8.
All right, 8 additional damage. Okay. Just for flavor, is this attack coming from Flower or Fall?
Fall. Fall's the one who has a sword.
Okay. As Fall pierces into the side of its hide that it's facing away from, the creature gives another hideous howling wail and flails its betentacled head in Fall's direction as it keeps whirling its head around in confusion, looking around at all the different things antagonizing it while it's just trying to eat mushrooms.
What's the range on the explosive arrow again?
A 20-foot radius of the explosion.
Okay.
So if I hit that guy, every single one of them is going to get hit.
In theory, yes. I'm assuming you're keeping track of how many of those you have, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Now some of those left.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on your turn, Flower?
I got more of those than I have regular arrows.
All right. Yeah. Just in case, here I'm just making sure you get the most out of your turns. And creature you can see.
Part of the reason I wasn't on the thing was because I forgot the name of Roll20.
That's okay. Yeah, the only thing you have left that you can do if you like is action surge, but you only have one of those per sure. All right, save that.
Yeah, I'll save it.
Okay. Grelog / Paul, the two of you are now up with Asari on deck, but there will be something that comes before you. But Grelog and Paul, you're up. You can choose who goes in what order at your leisure.
I'm not picky.
All right, Paul, would you like to do something?
I mean, it sounds like Grelog has a plan.
Well, since it's been attacked, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I think
It's hard to convince something that would come in peace when you kill it while they attack it.
Yeah, well,
good that my turn comes kind of late because it'll let me kind of figure out exactly what the situation is.
All right. Paul, I'll say if it helps, by the dwindling torchlight of that Grelog's providing and what you can make out in the darkness around you, the Dark Elf Patrol is quite close to you, and you can see Flower, Fall, Grelog, and Asari have the Badger pretty much locked in place and are beating down on it. Avaben is still pulling himself too, so hasn't quite moved yet. What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I guess they probably have it, but it's like, I guess, wonder if I have a nice little chat with these guys, you know, just say, hey, how you doing? Come here often.
Yes, flirt with the Dark Elf soldiers.
But,
All right, Grelog, how about you? Anything?
Yes. So it's right in front of me, correct?
Yes.
So, if I were to, say, do Burning Hands, can I do it in a way that I don't hit any of my allies?
Let me check. Burning hands.
Go down on
15 cone.
like one knee and angle up towards the upper torso. Because it's a 15-foot cone that goes out from my hands.
Actually, yeah. If you just throw it straight forward, it will hit. It will hit Fall, but it won't hit Flower or Asari. But there's basically you'd have to either hit Flower or hit Fall. There's nowhere. It's a very narrow cave. There's nowhere you could like angle the cone in such a way to where it doesn't hit one of the twins.
We can't angle it up.
Well, bear in mind, angling it up isn't actually like a gameplay mechanic.
I will say that you can hit Fall without much consequence.
I don't want to hit either of them.
I'm just saying, like, out of character. They probably will be upset, but
I like how D&D doesn't have mechanics for shooting up.
Well, bear in mind, it's because it would make area of effect pretty much inconsequential. Like, why would you ever have to worry about collateral if you could just angle it that precisely? That basically, if the target is just bigger than you, which a lot of D&D monsters are, you basically don't have to worry about area damage and collateral at all.
I mean,
Just, I put it on the giant's head so it doesn't hit my allies.
I can see that.
That's actually pretty funny. Okay, then I would like to cast Flame Blade.
Okay.
And I am then going to smack the creature with my sword.
Okay. Out of curiosity, what sword are you using?
Is a flaming sword.
Well, no, but it says you. Oh wait, hold up. Oh yeah. It makes the sword from the attack. Okay. All right. Swing for it then.
Swing, baby, swing.
Because I wasn't sure if it was like Green Flame Blade, where you have to have a sword like prepared. So.
Nah. So, does a 13 hit?
It does not. I'm afraid.
Oh.
As your sword alights, the creature kind of perks its head up, seeming to respond more to the heat than to the actual visage of flame. And as you jab forward with it, it recoils backward and hisses and shrieks at you. You can see the concentrical, disgusting mouth beneath the mass of tentacles. And Flower, Asari, Fall, and Grelog, as the creature is bathed in both torchlight and the light from Grelog's blade, basically Grelog dual-wielding things of fire, you actually can see that the creature does not appear to have eyes whatsoever. They appear to have basically grown a layer of skin over where the eyes would be.
Oh.
That's horrifying.
It's a mutant.
That's horrifying, Carl.
Is that the end of your turn, Grelog?
I can only cast one spell. I've only got like one act. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. So, sadly, yes. That is it.
Okay. Paul, anything from you?
Paul's gonna... Your turn. I'm going to kind of get in front of the party and the elves. Simply tell the elves we mean no harm.
I'll tell you what, make me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay. 8.
The captain kind of glances to you, and you can see a slight snarl beneath the armor as the who seems to be the captain kind of barks at you. We have our orders. Surface dwellers and monsters are to be exterminated. And she levels her crossbow at you. Is that it for you, Paul? I will say, with your position in the tunnel, they cannot go past you without provoking attacks of opportunity.
And he's blocked. He'll just sit there and block the way.
Would they be able to attack evade him without provoking it?
Yes, but I'm assuming you're going to be moving back a bit, so...
Well, I don't know if I'm going to get my turn before then.
Oh yeah, that's true. Speaking of, if that's the end of your turn, Paul, it is now the Dark Elf's turn. Asari on deck.
Exactly.
Let's see, what are they going to do?
I always find it weird whenever, like, the rules specifically, they have to pass the tile.
I mean, there is a feat with pole arms you can get where if they enter your...
Yeah, basically if you just want really good, like, area control. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I was just double checking something rules-wise.
By the way, Matthew, what cancels glamours?
You... Make me an Arcana check.
Oh my god. It's not even my turn.
Well, that's the question.
16.
You would know that there are wards that can cancel out glamours, and some mages specialize in effectively anti-magic protocols. You know that some places of importance tend to have such wards placed on them. Basically, you can't go in glamored to like hide weapons or even just hide your appearance. But beyond that, you don't know of anything specifically made to counter glamours that wouldn't just cancel out any form of magic.
What deactivates a glamour?
Basically, an anti-magic ward or someone who specializes in basically shutting down other magics.
So, like, there's no way for the person it's cast on or the person who casts it to just say, I end the spell.
If you don't know how to do glamours yourself, no.
Just spell magic?
In theory.
Okay.
That being said, let's see.
I feel like Avaven didn't know that coming into this. He
Well,
was under the impression he could just end it at any time.
yeah, bear in mind, some of the fair folk will essentially do it as effectively a curse, and it wouldn't be a very effective curse if someone could just remove it at will. All right. Sorry about that. I was working out what the Dark Elves were going to do.
They're gonna act as a group.
Well, I mean, yeah. Basically, because I actually did some research on the matter. Basically, it's ideal to have if they're all effectively identical stat-wise, then just have them act as a group. Although I will have the Boomer Ganger go separately. Otherwise, it would just be like Dark Elf, one of the party members, Dark Elf, which I would do if it was just the Dark Elves, but since there's like a lot of different groups on the field, it's just less tedious this way. That being said, yeah, I believe they're all in range for that, so Paul and Avaven, closer to the Dark Elves and actually focused on them. You see them all draw crossbows and take level stance. And Avaben, by your estimate as someone who knows ranged weaponry decently well, they're at a good range with those crossbows for you guys, but you can see they don't appear to be focusing on you. And you can see the captain raise her hand, and as she brings her hand down, fire on the man! And as she brings her hand down, they all fire their crossbows past the two of you towards Grelog, who they had promised to kill first.
So are they not moving from their position?
Nope, which means they actually have disadvantage on these attacks, because otherwise they would get disadvantage from being too close to Paul. So, Grelog, Paul just saved you from an entire firing squad by giving them all disadvantage, effectively.
No, I gave him disadvantage.
So because Paul's in the way.
Because if they moved close enough to not have disadvantage because they're out of range, they would then be within Paul's melee range, which would give them disadvantage anyway. Otherwise, they could just move in closer and not have any problems.
Well, Vaven's gonna have a nasty surprise for them, potentially. He's got some things to consider first.
Alright. As the firing wave of crossbows unleashes, Avaven, you just duck and cover. Paul, you raise your shield boldly and manage to deflect a good chunk of the bolts that would have otherwise struck true. And you can see one of the Dark Elves, as they fire, their crossbow completely breaks under the strain. And as they kind of curse to themselves and undercommon and start going about fixing it, the captain just rolls her eyes and just, I must do everything myself, and raises a hand. And Flower, Fall, Asari, Grelog, all of you are plunged into darkness.
Yes.
I'm double checking the range. Yep, okay. 15. This is as much space as it can take up. Avaben, you and Paul see this cloud of darkness expand outward from where the creature is standing, and Flowerfall, Asari, and Grelog, it all just goes pitch black for you as this smog of magical darkness fills up the tunnel. And Avaben and Paul, it almost, while you know you can go through it, it would just be blinding. It's almost as if a wall has been placed between you and your party members for all that you can see of them now. And the captain, that is actually it for the captain as well.
Yeah, darkness is an action, so...
Yeah. I believe I got everyone. So that is the end of the patrol's turn. Asari, you're up. Avaben on deck.
Wait,
Sorry.
why is that whiter on one side?
Is it?
The box.
Okay. What?
Not wider.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you are right actually. My measurement, it's a little wonky, but it is 6 squares, which is an even number, because it's a 30-foot sphere in total. So anyway, sorry, go on.
It's a-
You're gonna have to use Jared's mic.
Okay, I have a quick question.
All right.
So my question is, because Amanda know this. I don't know if Asari would because, sorry. But if I cast dark, would Asari know if she casted darkness up with darkness that it would just, all of it would dispel it? So.
Make an Arcana check.
Are you asking if Dispel Magic will dispel this magic?
I think he asked
No.
if casting darkness will count.
Yeah. She's asking if she casts darkness, would it then basically cancel out this darkness and bring light
I think
back?
it would
Well,
just
I'm
dispel
asking
darkness.
realistically, would she actually know that? Because I know it. I just don't know if she would.
Well, make an Arcana check.
I'm trying to, but the
Don't know
NPC on
if
is not letting me.
I'll roll for you.
I'm gonna do it. Thank you.
I feel like that's not how it would work.
All right, you got a 25
Yeah.
total. You would know that. No, it does not work that way. Darkness only has any special
Actually, It's in the spell.
No, I'm literally looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Only you have to cover the source of darkness with an opaque object. So basically, darkness does not count as an opaque object. The only thing that can lift the spell is an area of light that is a 2nd level spell or lower. And I will say,
No,
Asari, you would also know that even if that was the case, it wouldn't matter because you do not have that spell.
Right. Okay.
I thought it was
Alright.
has to be a level higher than darkness.
Do anything.
Yeah, so 2nd level or lower, the light spell would be dispelled. So it's 3rd
Yeah.
level or
Right.
higher. will-
to get rid of the darkness.
Yeah.
Or rather, to at least have light that affects it.
I'm gonna try to move, extend my arms out and kind of move.
All right,
But as I'm gonna do that, I'm going to cast infestation around me and kind of try to see where the bugs.
Let me double check. Infestation needs a creature you can see.
Does it? It does.
I'm looking at it right now. It does.
That's the problem with darkness. You can be like, hey,
Won't use it spell. I'll just walk around
fuck your sight spells.
Fuck your sights.
extend my arms and be like, I can't see.
All right. Which direction are you going to be moving?
I'm gonna go straight.
Straight. Which direction?
Well, whichever way I'm.
We can't see
Alright.
the battle map.
I can't see the.
All right. I'll just say away.
You know this.
All right. I'll just say away from the creature. However,
Can't see the battle map that I'm pretty sure Matthew made because you asked about it.
Well, technically, I also made it for Qua's benefit too.
Is it Qua that asked about it?
Yeah, Qua's a visual learner. However,
True.
Asari, as you start blindly feeling your way along the tunnel wall, trying to rapidly make your way away from the creature, you hear a gurgle behind you, as the creature is going to get an opportunity attack because the badger has blind sight.
I like how it's a mutation that it's blind, yet somehow it is able to work with being blind.
Because it's not working on sight, it's working on like audio and smell because it's a
Yeah,
badger.
that's what blind sight means. It's they're working on other senses.
Yeah, like for instance, bats in the game have blind sight because they use echolocation, not their eyes. Well, rather not exclusively their eyes.
Would killing the caster of darkness dispel it?
It's a concentration spell, so even damaging them might get rid of it, although killing them 100% would.
Okay.
So the creature is going to take an opportunity attack on Asari, and it's going to use its claw. That is a hit. I don't even need to check modifiers.
Was it a
No.
crit?
Nope.
No, but it was very high regardless.
Or see.
Asari, you take 12 slashing damage as the creature lunges out to claw down your back as you retreat from it in the darkness. As warm, or rather for you, cold blood trails down your back, giving you this like sickly cold feeling. You can hear the creature gurgling and roaring as you desperately, like blindly make your way away from it. However, you do manage to make your way outside of the cloud of darkness. You have 10 feet of movement to spare, and while you are injured, you still can't see the creature, but you can now see the dark elves. And Paul and Avaben for what that's worth. All right, we'll come back to you.
Jimmy to give me his phone.
Sorry. Look at my spells.
I want to. I the dark elf, right?
Yes, you can see the dark elves. You can't see the mole, though.
Just gonna look at the dark elves. I'm gonna do my breath weapon.
Okay,
Is there a way they can do that without hitting Paul in the back?
let's find out. Breath weapon, breath weapon, breath weapon, breath weapon.
It's
Uh,
a 15-foot cone.
You're gonna use this.
You could if you only hit one of them. However, if you try to hit more than one, you are going to hit Paul pretty much no matter what.
Could I use a sorcery point to help with that?
I think that only applies to spells. Let me check, though. Yeah, I'll have a spell you cast. Breath weapon isn't a spell.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna
When has
breath
this been a feature?
Oh my god!
weapon. I've used it before.
The fuck?
They said, no.
Instead of using
What,
my
breath
breath
weapon?
weapon,
No. He's referring to the ability to, like, leave a trail of your measurements because he's always measuring stuff between turns.
Oh.
Anyway, instead of using, my breath weapon, I'm gonna use Snowball's Swarm. They're called. This should not hit. Not really sure. How far away am I?
Real quick, what snowball swarm, is that what you're using?
Mm-hmm.
Flurry of snowballs are from a point you choose within range of 90 feet. Because you're in a 5-foot range. Yeah. You can hit the patrol without hitting your allies with this because it's a point you choose. So you can just choose a point in there. You are 15 feet away from the closest one by the looks of it. However, you could just put the snowball swarm at a point that's like in the patrol, so it won't hit your allies. What level are you casting this at?
I'm doing it at 3rd level.
Okay.
Just gonna put my stack in front of me and let the glowing ice.
Spell slots you have left.
If we all need to do the 30 save.
Oh yeah, that does raise a question, by the way. Because you only got a short rest, do you have the spell slots to do this?
I do.
Okay. All right.
My last level, and then I have second.
Okay.
And
All right. Each creature within a 5-foot radius. I guess any preference on where in the patrol you want to put it. You can see a boomerganger towards the back, and you recognize the woman who had spoken, who appears to be the one in charge, closer to the wall. So you can.
let's get boss. Hello.
All right. So, Jared, where's she putting it?
Boss lady.
All right. Point you can see.
Me.
All right, and each creature within 5 feet. So I'll say, yeah, she can just put it in like the center of the patrol and hit Boss Lady as well as a good chunk of the patrol. All right. Snowball Swarm, dexterity save of 14. Boss Lady fails. The remaining Dark Elves also fail. So they will all take the full damage from this. So 3d6 cold.
She said that's 15.
Okay. Do. Okay. Will you stop doing that?
Did it all wrong.
Trying to fucking navigate my little chess pieces here, and I can't see a thing. All right. Asari, as you claw your way out of the darkness and raise your staff before you, the air in the tunnel begins to chill, and from the center of the patrol, these less snowballs and more shards of ice begin to funnel out as if a grenade had gone off, and shrapnel begins to rake through the patrol's ranks. And you watch as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dark Elves fall to the flurry of ice.
Oh my god. Oh my god, they were actually kind of pushovers.
Just start singing "Let It Go."
Asari, you start singing to yourself as Avaben, you watch in less the horror you would expect and more just amazement as the Dark Elf Patrol, including its captain, begin to slump to the ground with icicles and shards sticking out of their heads and necks, and their blood.
Avaben is going to say in undercommon, "You guys are pushovers."
Is that the end of your turn, Asari?
Yeah.
All right. Avaben, you're up. Flower and Fall, you'll be on deck after the Badger. So, Hunter.
How sturdy does this tunnel seem?
Make a nature check.
Snow everywhere.
Well, I mean,
Nature check.
I stopped singing. Let it go.
That's going to be a plus nothing, so just a flat roll.
Yeah, and I'm double checking to make sure your ranger things don't give you anything for this. You do have advantage on this because this is an intelligence check related to the Underdark, so I will give you advantage on this.
Alright, 14.
It looks fairly sturdy. Given that this path is patrolled and traveled, this is likely a trade route. You imagine they're not going to have super flimsy tunnels acting as their trade route. And
so
for what
explosion doesn't look like it'll cave it in.
Yeah, you by your guesstimate, it is certainly possible, but you don't think your explosive arrows have the yield to outright collapse this tunnel, unless you're, like, deliberately going for that.
Okay. Well, just to deal with these pushovers in one fell swoop, Oh, by the way, wouldn't the darkness spell be canceled now?
Oh yeah, you are right. Thank you. All of your visions are restored as the captain's concentration on a lot of things, but least of all her darkness spell fades, and your vision restores.
Just shoot this guy in the face with an explosive arrow.
All right. Because this is an explosive arrow, this is not a attack roll. This will be a saving throw. Let me see how they do.
Don't I have to roll to hit the arrow?
I made an exception for Grendel because it was kind of a unique situation, but normally no. It's because it's an explosive. It doesn't really matter if you hit them. It's a matter of like the damage it deals because, blast, boom.
What if I want to specifically hit them in the face?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I do actually have a system for this. So the explosion is going to hit regardless, but I will let you make a roll with disadvantage. But if you still match their AC even with disadvantage, if they survive the attack, I will give them like a special effect based on where you hit. That's actually a system I like to implement in my campaigns. Like if a player says,
so
I want to...
explosion will hit no matter what.
Because it's a saving throw, but you can roll to try and basically specifically take out their face.
Alright, here we go.
So yeah, you have disadvantage on this, but...
First roll, 16. Second roll. Alright, the second roll would have been an 18, so it's going to be a 16.
And that hits!
So, if even shoots this guy in the face with an explosive arrow.
Alright. Let me roll the saving throw.
This poor
So
dark elf
if
woman.
he succeeds, he avoids damage. If he succeeds,
If it succeeds, they take half. The Boomerganger succeeds. Actually, no. I'll tell you what. I'm going to say the Boomerganger automatically fails because of the nature of the hit. However, I will pass that success on to one of the Dark Elves. And the other Dark Elf fails. So one Dark Elf succeeds, the Boomerganger and the other Dark Elf both fail. This is
what do I roll?
This is 3d6 fire damage.
Have any of them taken damage?
The Boomerganger has.
Alright, so I'm also going to add a d8. So that's 3d6, right?
Yes. So go ahead and give me that first, and then you can apply the extra d8 for the Boomerganger.
That'll be 10 damage in total, and then with the d8, 14.
Okay. 14 to the Boomerganger, 10 to the Dark Elf who failed, 5 to the one who succeeded. All right. Avaben has
to hear you flavor this one.
Avaben, bolstered by your allies' abject slaughter of the patrol, and the ones who are left appear pretty demoralized as their advantage with the darkness and their captain are both gone. You reach into your quiver and pull free one of the explosive arrows that Grelog so graciously provided you. And it seems the party is serving their use to you after all, as you draw the arrow back and loose. And as it sails through the air, it strikes the Boomerganger directly in the mouth, and everything around him disappears in a flash of smoke and fire. And as the smoke less clears, because you're underground, so it doesn't really have anywhere to go, but as the smoke spreads and thins, actually reaching you, Paul, and Asari a bit, you can see all three are still standing, although one of the Dark Elves is suffering major-looking burns, and the Boomerganger is now completely missing his jaw, and most of his upper head is completely burned, and appears to be actively burning as he gives this gargled, warped scream of pain. and just drops his rifle completely as he pounds at his head, seeming more in shock at the feeling he's feeling, with his jaw completely blown off and the rest of his head and scalp burning.
Hey, guess what?
What's that?
I have multi-attack, don't I?
You do.
So
This time we're not going to try for anything fancy.
I just got a quick question.
What's that?
We're supposed to be the good guys, right?
Yes.
Supposed to be.
I was actually just thinking.
Hey, the Punisher is a good guy.
All right. So, what would you like to do with your next attack, Avaben?
Finish them.
All right. Gonna do another explosive arrow.
Yep.
All right. Go for it.
Do they need to roll? Do they
Yes.
even need to roll?
No, they do.
There's a possibility they could survive it.
Boomerganger succeeds. Dark Elf also succeeds. All three succeed.
Can I cancel my attack?
You cannot. Roll 3d6. This is why a lot of special effects that let you reroll specify you have to do it before you know if your thing works or not.
I can only add the D8 once per turn, right?
I believe so. I'll double check though.
I think it's the first turn. The first
Giant Slayer. Oh, Colossus Slayer. Yeah, once per turn.
Alright, so that'll be 14 damage.
Alright. Avaben, not content that the job's done, you pull your arrow back and fire, and this time you at least do the fellow the good mercy of a headshot. And as the explosion racks the tunnel again, when the smoke, again, thins more than clears, at this point the tunnel's getting rather choking with smoke, although thankfully it goes upwards and the tunnel's tall enough to keep it out of your faces. But as the air of the tunnel gets acrid and burning and thick, you can see all of the Dark Elves and their Boomerganger lay dead.
That'll show them. Also, by the way, I believe that once you attack, you can't do anything like move, right?
No, you can move, you just can't do any other actions.
Oh, okay.
Use your actions.
Because I know dashing will take up an action.
Yeah, dashing is an action, for you at least.
Well, this thing don't seem like it has many ranged attacks, so... Avaben's gonna hop over the rock.
Alright. Bow in hand, you slide over the rock and start making your way towards the remaining hostile as your party surrounds it, ready to give it a beatdown. Is that the end of your turn, Avaben?
I mean, there's nothing else I can do, so what do you think?
Alright. Badger's up, however, Flower and Fall, you are on deck.
Like how he asks that whenever he knows there's nothing else you can do.
Well, bear in mind, you guys have all the shit your character can do written down. I don't.
Fair enough.
I'm keeping track of what my guys can do.
Fair enough.
I think that's what he's gonna do.
Those loud explosions seem to bother it.
It certainly seems unhappy, but not to... It's working mostly off of smell, although you do notice as the smoke of your kill starts to reach it does seem to get a little but bear in mind it hasn't had enough time to intake that completely yet. That being said, as you can see its head actually turn towards you, Avaben, as you slide over the rock. Again, despite its seeming lack of eyes, it seems fairly aware of its surroundings just through scent alone. And whatever's going through its mind, it's at least average intelligence for an animal anyway, and the creature begins to dig at the ground beneath it and starts to squirm into a tunnel that it creates beneath itself. Flower and Grelog...
Fleeing the battle?
No. However, Flower and Grelog, because it is leaving your immediate range of engagement, you may make opportunity attacks if you wish.
Yeah.
Their Echo doesn't get an opportunity attack?
No, the Flower has to. I think they can do stuff like that later. I just don't think at this level.
I believe so.
All right.
That was a natural 20.
Okay. Flower.
Come on, you could do it. Nat 20.
I believe in you.
That was a 6.
All right.
Oh, bitch.
Also, side note, because I was actually double checking while you were rolling. Yes, Fall can make opportunity attacks, but basically, it has to be one of them, not both.
Oh, okay.
That being said, Flower, you take a swing at it, but the creature roars at you, and that kind of makes you reconsider swinging an axe at it. However, Grelog, you managed to strike true with what weapon are you using?
It is a flame blade still.
Is that still up? I'm just double checking.
It lasts for 10 minutes.
Flame blade, concentration up to 10 minutes. You can use flame missions. Yeah, it's concentration. Okay. Yeah. If you let go, it disappears, but it lasts for the duration. Okay. Make your attack, or rather, roll for damage. You already hit.
And then, so would I just double the damage? Or
yeah. So you roll. Yeah, you roll, double the damage, and then add any modifiers.
Okay.
So you double the damage without modifiers, then add modifiers.
Yes.
Makes it slightly less crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think the by-the-book crits are a little underwhelming, but I think some people's homebrews are a little overwhelming, so I tried to take a middle ground.
By the book crit.
You just add one extra dice of that weapon's damage type.
That is chicken shit.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either. Like, I can see why they do it that way, especially when you consider that in by the book, crits don't do anything on skill checks either. So I can see why they did it that way. I'm just personally not a fan.
That will be 24 fire damage.
Okay. 24 fire damage on our little friend here. Doot. Okay. The creature shrieks and gurgles as you dig your flaming blade into it, but its progress on the tunnel does not cease. And it digs and digs and digs. And as it disappears into its tunnel, everything goes quiet for a moment. Before Grelog, a claw emerges from the ground below you and takes a swipe at you. You manage to just barely dodge out of the way now that you can't see where it's attacking from, so you're operating more on instinct than you are on anything else. However, as it claws up at you, it's also going to try and lunge for a bite.
Well, I was going to say, I actually can see it. My flame sword does put off light.
It does put off light, but it doesn't let you see through ground.
Well, is it?
He
Well, I
just
thought
said
I
it
see
burrowed
into the
underground.
Yeah, it's tunneling underground and basically just reaching up to claw at you and then disappearing again.
Okay, I get it now.
Regardless, you managed to dodge out of the way of its bite as well. I am rolling terribly when it comes to the mole.
I'm so upset.
However, the mole disappears into its tunnel again, and now all of you are on guard. The mole is somewhere beneath your feet. It seems like it was actually smart enough to register that the attention is all on it, so it needs to operate with stealth now. You can no longer see it, but it is definitely still on the battlefield and definitely still hostile. However, its tunnel does lay in a good size.
That tunnel is not as sturdy as this tunnel.
Flower and Fall, you're up. Grelog and Paul on deck.
Okay. Question is, what can we do?
Yeah, you can see the tunnel that it created as it dug, and it is, but it is currently underground and out of your immediate sight.
is going to say, "Be careful about that tunnel. I have a plan, but you're not going to want to be down there."
If you're thinking of burying it, it can just dig its way out.
I would also like to point out that, like, in a tight space, if you'd set off like an explosion, it's going to create a lot more force because it's all compacted.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I use Druidcraft in the hole to make it smell like a skunk down there?
Interesting.
Eh? He has a sense of smell, right?
A mole would not like it.
Sure. That's creative. I like that. This is another one of those situations where it works differently in this campaign, but I just want you to know, like, personally, that I would give you inspiration for that.
I mean, you're the DM. You can just give inspiration if you
Well,
want.
yeah, but then the system of buying it would be completely pointless.
Yeah, but it's not like you can. It's not like you always do something inspiration worthy.
Flower and Fall, do you just want to put it at, like, the entrance of the tunnel, or how do you want to go about this?
I mean, I guess the entrance. I don't really see where else we could.
Okay.
I guess where it clawed at, but you know, whatever.
It's up to you.
Yeah, put it at the entrance.
Okay.
It's gonna get very stinky down there, like the dice today.
Flower and Fall, you cast your spell, tuning into your sprightly magic that you don't use too often. And from the rest of you guys' perspective, not a whole lot happens, because it does specify in the spell it's the faint odor. However, Grelog, beneath your feet, you can actually feel the shifting movement of the creature as it lets out a hissing, distressed gurgle from the tunnel. And Flower and Fall, you can hear its movements rapidly coming, like it is rapidly moving. You definitely got its attention, although whether it's going to come towards the entrance or just try and dig away from the smell, you're not sure, but you definitely provoked it.
Well, he did all that talk about it, and then he didn't have anything happen because.
Well, it's not its turn. It can't do anything yet.
Otherwise,
What-
I don't really think.
What am I supposed to just give a creature free turns every time someone does something to it?
Because I could go down there, but that sounds like a bad idea, actually.
All right. Is that it for you, Flowerfall?
Yeah, for this turn.
All right, so the creature is provoked. It's rampaging around in the tunnels as it's basically trapped in its own tunnel with the smell of a creature that, as a normal non-mutant, it tried to avoid. Because bear in mind, this thing was a badger before it fucking...
Yeah, none of the animals really like to mess with skunks.
Yeah. All right. Grelog and Paul, you're...
Apparently dogs are stupid enough to do it.
Well, even then, they're not trying to be mean. They're trying to be they're trying to be friendly, and skunks don't take kindly to that. All right, Grelog and Paul, you're up. Asari on deck.
Let's see what I can do.
Question: the badger goes after us, right?
The badger is at the top of the round.
Yeah, he was technically before us, so he's already gone.
Yeah.
That was him burrowing and all that and attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to see if I have any way of detecting it, but I don't think I do. I think Asari's pretty hurt, right?
Yeah, sorry, got clawed up pretty bad.
I think everyone's roughly... Wait. Do all that hurt?
I think Asari's the only one who's taken
Just
damage.
Asari.
Yeah, Asari's the only one who's taken damage yet.
Sorry, yeah. I walked away a few times.
It's missed all of its other attacks. And then we.
Austin,
Oh.
honey, if you're talking to me, I can't hear you.
I'm saying I might heal you.
All right, how much do you want to heal Asari for?
Just fine.
I will heal Asari. I'll do cure wounds.
Okay.
Thank you.
And do that. Okay. 7 HP.
All right, Asari, you heal for 7. Anything else from you, Paul?
You can hope. That was my action. I don't think I really have much bonus action. Yeah, that spell just did you.
All right, Grelog, you're up. Paul, you gently grab Asari by the arm and start pumping healing energy into her as you keep your shield held aloft, as at this point the mole could attack from any direction. Or rather, it's always going to attack from below, but you don't know from which part of the ground. Grelog, what would you like to do?
So, I'm looking at one of my spells. Flaming Spear. I can pretty much conjure a 5-foot in diameter spear of fire. And as a bonus action, I can control it and move it up to 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to cast that at 3rd level and send it down into this badger's tunnel and just ram it into the creature. Or just ram it down the tunnel and just have it follow the tunnel for 30 feet or until it hits.
Okay. I'm looking through the spell. That scans. Okay. All right. And Grelog, you conjure this a fireball, not too unlike the ones Asari creates, but rather than it just going off as a flash in the pan, you start directing it downwards into the tunnel that you had been considering going down, Flower. And as the smell of smoke and fire begins to mix with the faint odor of skunk, you all hear this hideous screeching wail as presumably the sphere made contact.
I need to make a dexterity saving throw. It needs to beat a 14.
Okay.
Beat that 14.
Which it fails.
Yeah.
So it'll take 2d6 fire damage.
3d6. I cast it at the 3rd level spell.
Okay.
And that is 12 damage.
Okay. 12 more damage to the badger.
Badger.
You can all see this gleaming light coming from the tunnel, only occasionally blocked by the shadows, as between the horrible smell that's much stronger to it than it is to all of you, and the basically fireball ramming it against the wall, it is panicking, flailing, screaming, and overall just deeply unhappy.
Oh, poor thing.
Asari, you're up. Avaben on deck.
How's it looking?
You don't know. Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, the problem with the stealth plan is that there's one way that the entrance is a one-way ticket to it.
I did say it was intelligent for an animal. And I don't even think a person would have guessed, oh shit, what if they conjure a fireball that's as big as my tunnel and send it, even though it can't see me, down the tunnel, and they're able to control it precisely enough to ram it into me.
But, I mean, something smarter probably would have maybe made a separate tunnel for it to go from there. So
Well, I didn't really have time. All right, Asari, what would you like to do?
I don't have much that I can do. So
You want to pass?
I'll kind of, yeah, I think I'll pass because I don't really have much that I can do.
Okay. Just double checking something real quick. Okay. Avaben, you're up. The Badger will go first afterwards, but Flower and Fall, you are on deck after the Badger. So, Avaben, what would you like to do?
And each object, any creature. I'm trying to think if fairy fire would work on it, even though it's underground. I don't think so. I don't have anything I can really do, so I'm going to say, can I have Avaben prepare an attack?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Like the next time, if it either comes out of the hole or if it starts to reach up at somebody, can I like shoot it?
Absolutely. You can only do one attack that way because it's technically a reaction attack, but yes, you can absolutely make an attack on it.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, all right. Avaben, your spells not really being...
Draw a regular arrow, obviously.
All right. You draw a non-explosive tipped arrow and ready it to just loose it at the first sign of underground movement, which does not take long to happen. Between the smell that it's trapped with and the burning fireball, Flower, as you kind of curiously peek at the light show you're getting, you see the tunnel begin to darken and are just able to back up a bit as the creature lunges out of the ground covered in burns, its fur and flesh burning away, screaming its lungs out as it starts to whirl around with snapping jaws and wailing claws. However, Avaben, you get first shot.
Here we go. It is going to be, let me get some quick math. 17 plus 8, 25.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
And it has been damaged. So
yes, so you can add Giant Slayer or Colossus Slayer if you wish, but
I believe I'm going to do 1d8 plus 3, then 1d8, right?
With the bow, just double checking. Yes, yeah, 1d8 from just the bow itself plus 3, and then the d8 for the Colossus Slayer.
Well, that is going to be maximum damage from the bow itself.
Nice.
So that'll be 11, and then another d8. Yeah, disappointing. I had maximum damage from the bow, minimum damage from Colossus Slayer.
Bummer.
So 12 damage.
All right. Avaben, as your arrow looses, you manage to hit it in the neck, and it gives another roaring crackle, but you notice it sounds very weak now, and its movements are getting sloppy and clumsy. It appears between all its injuries and the overwhelming of its senses, it's on the verge of unconsciousness, but it makes one last feeble attempt to defend itself. It's going to take a swing at Grelog.
That's kind of weird how in D&D, like, animals don't, for some reason, fight to the death, even though
Well, actually, they typically don't. It's just that this thing is mutated. Basically, from this creature's perspective, it was chasing off intruders, scared off more intruders, started foraging. The intruders came back and attacked it, so it tried to get away, or at least get itself into a position where it could hide and wait and try and scare them off, only for a skunk to spray its door, and then they send a flamethrower down to chase it. As far as this creature is concerned, you guys are cornering it and pummeling it to death.
attacked first.
Yeah, because as far as it could tell, the Dark Elves and you, by extension, were in its territory. Remember, it swiped at Grelog, but then just started eating whenever it assumed Grelog was going to leave.
It started eating because you missed the roll.
Well, yeah, but I flavored it. It didn't become hostile again until Flower attacked it. Just because I like to flavor things doesn't mean it has no impact whatsoever on the game. Yeah, that's definitely a miss. All right. Flower, as you flitter away from the tunnel, it snaps its jaws at you, but Avaben's arrow making contact throws off its aim just enough for you to dodge out of the way of the horrifying-looking mouth that you really don't want to go in. But as it turns around, Grelog, it doesn't have eyes, but it takes a long, hard look at you and raises its claw over its head. And as you're preparing to dodge the claw you see coming, you feel this stabbing pain in your gut as it manages to essentially sucker punch you with its claws. That was a crit from the badger.
I had that
Grelog
coming.
going to go down again.
Well, this is his first hit.
Well, I mean, you've been down in one hit before, so.
You take 16 slashing damage.
Yeah, you're not that
Oh, that was a wimpy crit.
I love how it's like when I don't roll super well or like an enemy plan doesn't go perfectly, it's like, oh, these fucking wimps. But then whenever the enemies are like doing what they intend to do, like a plan is for them is going perfectly, what the fuck, DM? This is impossible.
Excuse me, I have not done that in a very fucking long time, so...
But yeah, that's 16 slashing from the claw.
I
And
don't remember a single time doing that in this campaign.
this campaign.
Or the other D5 campaign.
The Deinonychus ambush.
I don't remember that.
He does.
But yeah, that, however, is the end of the mole's turn. Flower and Fall, you're up.
It's retreating, right?
Well, at this point, it's just flailing madly. It doesn't seem to have any... It seems like it's about to just pass out from its wound, so it's just flailing around at random now.
Okay. Try to knock it out fully.
All right.
Sleep, child.
All right. Roll for non-lethal blow. You can still use your +1 Axovs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
The
it
health
would be
of-
more merciful to kill this mutant.
It's true, but they don't like to kill, so.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's 11.
To hit.
Mm-hmm.
That is a miss, I'm afraid. However, you do get 2 attacks.
Yeah, I'll try again.
Alright.
14.
That is just a hit. Roll for damage.
Okay. Identify the dice again.
No worries. And of course, remember you get +1 to the damage as well.
Get that badger. Beat the crap out of him. Punch him right in his stupid nose.
5. 5 whole damage.
Okay. That the end of your turn?
Yeah, I can't. I already did 2 actions.
All right. Well, 2 attacks anyway.
Well, 2
but
attacks, yes.
yeah, the point does stand. Grelog Paul, you're up.
Well, that didn't take
Is
it
it
out.
still standing?
Yes, barely.
If somebody hits, doesn't have a chance to survive.
Let's find out. Grelog and Paul, what do you want to do?
Oh, don't kill it. I want to try to tame it. It looks like it could be reasonable if it doesn't feel in danger.
What is he basing this on?
The fact that it tried to run away and hasn't really done much to us.
I mean, it attacked
It
us.
clawed
and
Asari in the back.
It has been trying to attack y'all, just failed. But
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's just gonna be like, points to her back.
Dug
You
underground.
might want to think
Not
about
to
that
flee,
love.
but to try and attack us more.
Mhm.
I don't know. It seemed like more like he was trying to flee to him.
Well, that might have been what he
Can
was
we-
actually doing, but does Greylock have any way of knowing that?
Yeah.
I mean, he can assume that, but
Well, I
Frankly,
have a way to speak to him.
I understand the passion, but I don't know if it's going to be able to save. It may be too far gone.
I thought he did.
So Grelog would like to cast Speak with Animal.
Okay.
Oh god.
And that is just a first level spell.
Okay.
This could either go really well or really poorly.
Well, if it goes poorly, then y'all can kill it. Like Paul can kill it right if it fails.
All right. You cast
So
Speak
once
with
I
Animals.
cast
Yeah.
that, I'm going to say to the poor badger, please stop fighting. I don't want to kill you. Why don't you work with us instead, and we can
Work for us.
like live in peace.
A little bit too forward, but
Well, that's why I said I don't want to kill you.
like I was just thinking like maybe he should have just said I don't want to kill you and then see what it does from there, but
Make a animal handling check.
all right, here we go.
Natural 20. That's a 26.
There. All right. We're getting somewheres.
The creature whirls its head around, seeming confused by a voice it can understand. And as it lets out another hideous shriek, you can actually understand something coming from it. Although, what it sounds like is odd. It sounds like you're hearing multiple voices layered on one another, like a choir, although less of a beautiful angelic one and more of a hideous cacophony of voices screaming as it effectively more just barks at you, not even seeming to register you are the one speaking and more just responding to the voice itself. Pain, burning, away, away!
Incoherent.
What if I can make the pain stop?
My tunnel, my tunnel, my tunnel!
Okay, it's not going to work. It just wants the tunnel. So, Grelog will then look at Paul and, not using animal talk this time, will say, it cannot be reasoned with. He just wants the tunnel and the pain to stop.
Well, we could potentially help with one part of that.
I mean, frankly, I can keep the tunnel, and I can help it heal. I can see about healing it.
You do realize you'll have to come back this way at some point.
Well, possibly.
Well, do you want Grelog to relay that to the badger?
I guess.
So
Like how we
Grelog,
wait after we've beaten it almost into a pulp to be diplomatic.
well, it was Grelog's original idea to try to be diplomatic.
Yeah, no, yeah. In Greylog's defense, he wanted to be diplomatic at the start, but the party went aggro first.
So Grelog is then going to say,
First.
we will let you have the tunnel if you let us pass without trying to attack us.
The creature starts to shovel dirt with its massive spade-like claws onto its burning wounds, seeming to hope that the dirt will assuage the pain, and starts to dig itself back down into the tunnel it had created, although seeming to go in a different direction to avoid the flaming sphere you've created. Away! Away! Away!
It seems to agree. It's
Alright.
simple speech, but as long as he will let us leave if we go. That way it can live and we don't have to fight.
So I guess I will approach the beast. And
Isn't it burrowing underground?
well,
Not fully yet. It's like basically starting to.
Yeah, it's not turned yet. And I will lay on hands.
Make an animal handling check.
Ooh.
Could I give him an advantage?
How do you want to go about doing that?
I will warn the badger that my friend is coming to help with the burning to make the pain go away.
Sure. Animal handling with advantage.
Okay, cool. 17.
The creature's rapid tunneling stops briefly, and Flower, you get a close-up view of its ragged, bedraggled head as the tentacled maw peers around blindly, but almost as if crossing an invisible threshold. The moment Paul starts walking towards it, its head whips around to look at him, and it lowers its head to the ground, and the tentacles kind of flick and swipe aggravatedly, but it does hold still while you cast Lay on Hands, Paul. How much Lay on Handsing do you wish to give it?
I wanted to trust me, so I will do 20.
Okay.
Oh god. Just hoping this works, because we're kind of all in at that point.
As you pump healing energy into it, its burns begin to subside, and you can see the arrow wound that Avaven created close over, and
Arrow pull out.
yes, although you'll have to get a closer look to see if it's actually salvageable or not. While it is still badly burned and injured, it definitely is less so than when you approached it initially. And it pauses for a moment before, in just a flash of movement, starting to tunnel back down. Not attacking you, just basically doing that animal thing of holding still for all of a minute before just sprinting the other way. But as it does so, Grelog, you can make out more of its gurglings in a translated format via beast speech as it starts tunneling, basically just straight down, avoiding your flaming sphere. It seems like actually a relatively slow tunneler. Like, you guys imagine you could keep up with its tunneling speed at a jogging pace, but you can just make out as it starts to tunnel away from all of you straight down. Grelog, you can make out more of its gurgles as, my tunnel, dig, 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 food, food, no two legs.
Oh. And I would drop concentration on the spear and the sword.
All right. As all sources of light, except for your torch, fade from the tunnel, the patrol lies dead, and the beast that Grelog created is escaping. The worst of its wounds licked, and it seems content to pass without further battle, as long as its tunnel and hunting grounds are not further disturbed. However, Avaben, you know that this area is likely pretty heavily patrolled, given it's a straight route from Ostiliant to the surface, or as straight as anything in the Underdark ever is. You imagine that it may not be so bad if this creature happens upon some other two legs in its territory.
Well, it did say no more two legs.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
don't
flame
know
blade.
if that's a permanent solution.
But it's a better one.
I think it is the best solution for this time being.
Yeah, just to tell another caravan moves through here and gets slaughtered.
Well, not our problem. So, at this point, can Grelog go and find the corpse of the dark elf, or the leader of the dark elf group?
Yeah, other than the ones in the back line, most of the bodies are actually relatively intact, just burned. The captain is not particularly difficult to identify.
Okay,
And Avaben blew some dude's fucking jaw off.
so with their body, how badly damaged is it?
Actually, not particularly. One of the icicles from Asari's spell basically went straight into her neck, likely killing her almost instantly. And her...
Instantly kill?
Probably not, but this is my fantasy world, so... And while her armor does have some singeing on it from Avaben's explosives, it's not incredibly badly damaged. While the clothes are likely a write-off between all the damage they've sustained, the actual equipment seems salvageable.
So I would like to remove the icicle from her neck.
It's already melted from the explosives.
Okay. Then I would like to search her for weapons.
Okay.
Remove them, and then tie her hands and feet. I have something I'm going to do, but I gotta do this quick.
All right. We'll come back to you. Avaben, Flowerfall, Asari, and Paul.
He's just gonna pick up his arrow.
All right. Make me a survival check.
Do I get advantage because I'm in my favorite terrain?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow that. It's a wisdom check, so.
Okay. That is going to be... Hang on, I'm gonna do some math. 18 plus 5. 23.
Yep. The one arrow that is even theoretically possible to salvage, the one that had been ejected from the badger's neck, you find laying on the ground, thankfully, largely undamaged. And you start just essentially cleaning off the broadhead tip in hopes of being able to use it again. That arrow is reusable. Flowerfall, Asari, Paul, what are the three of you doing?
Well, gotta keep moving.
All right. Flower and Fall, you urge the party to continue onwards. Paul, sorry? Yeah, you don't have to do anything. I just try to make sure everybody gets at least asked if they have anything before I just focus on one person.
Yeah, he has nothing he can do. So.
I'll go over by Grelog and see what he's up to.
All right. Flower and Fall, you urge the party to continue, and Paul, you survey the area patiently. Avaben, you clean off and retighten the head of your arrow to ensure that it can be...
wants to keep moving as well.
No, yeah, just since it seems like the spellcasters are occupied. Asari, you approach curiously as Grelog is disarming and restraining what appears to be one of the many corpses you created. Grelog, make me an investigation check.
Uh,
Find all those hidden weapons.
16.
All right. You find a short sword and a hand crossbow, as well as a quiver of bolts on her person.
So I will remove those, but keep and put them in my bag of holding.
All right.
Then I'm going to take out one of my 5 diamonds. And since she is now restrained, I am going to cast Revivify.
Okay. Real quick, make me a survival check to see how good the restraints are.
Ouch. Did you use inspiration?
No, I accidentally clicked it twice. Isn't that one?
Okay, noted. Grelog, you restrain the captain, disarm her of weapons, and laying your diamond on the ground, you begin to cast Revivify.
Heal them completely, or just brings them back to 1 HP?
It brings them back with 1 health.
Okay.
Grelog, you watch as one of the diamonds burns away, and just as the last of bits of it fade away into darkness, the captain and looks around in a feverish hurry, but then as she seems to take in her surroundings, her face hardens back into a scowl. And turns her attention to you, Grelog, and spits in your face, most of it blood, and bring me back just to gloat, Sunblood?
Not at all. But we do want to help your city.
Asteliant is the jewel of the Underdark. We don't need your help. Least of all the help of a Sunblood, and a man at that.
But yet, you're willing to barter with more men and Sunbloods at that. They already know about the fucking pistol.
Hey,
No, this isn't character.
she's also in character right next.
So, why would you give it to them with no guarantee that they'll even let your city live?
Oh.
Swear to God, if they don't stop laughing, I'm going to kill them again.
Oh, please, save me and Lady Arachne the trouble. Like most men, your head is full of funny ideas.
You say that to the people who just obliterated your entire squad like they were insects.
Anyone can destroy. It takes a real genius to create.
Gotcha.
Well,
Sorry, kind of behind.
You're gonna have to use Jared's mic, Amanda. Sorry.
I am.
You're so far away. It's the problem.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get closer to it then.
Because he's like way over there. Sorry, kind of steps into the next long. Crosses her arms. What are you talking about?
She gives a smile and referring to what exactly? You're going to have to be more specific.
The create.
I mean what I said.
Only gods can create.
a shame. Time in the sun has fried your brain. The world is not as black and white as it looks down here in the darkness.
Go on.
What? I'm supposed to believe that if I tell you everything, you'll let me go?
Oh no, I can guarantee you that we will probably kill you. Either way, we're gonna know. So either you tell us and, you die, or you don't tell us and you still die.
I'm not seeing what's in it for me to tell you a damn thing.
Grelog will put up his hand because Asari's not really one for being diplomatic, and he will undo the restraints.
As you approach her, she simply spreads her arms. She had escaped them at some point during the conversation. However, she doesn't do anything, simply leans back against the rock wall and places a hand against her wounded stomach. And I will say, by the way, before I continue, Paul and Flower and Fall, you are still in the tunnel, so if you want to jump into the conversation, you can.
Yeah.
She kind of nods to you out of the corner of her eye, Asari, and I'll give you credit for a good bit of spell work. That's far more powerful than most spellcasters can accomplish.
I've been practicing a long time.
With any luck, perhaps I will be blessed by her ladyship when I make it to the other side.
You know that your town, your trust you think.
She kind of shakes her head and turns to you. I'm sorry. It's either the revival process or a concussion. Either way, I can't understand you very well.
I was saying that you realize that your precious gem city is in danger.
Is it now?
Yeah, the Boomerangers.
Yeah, we could do what we did to your patrol. Their weapons will probably annihilate your entire city.
As I said, little Sunblood, things aren't as black and white as they seem in the darkness. Magic has far more destructive potential than anything these Sunblood cultists can conjure up. Although, I suppose calling them true Sunbloods is not fully accurate.
You can be conceited all you like. Still doesn't press up.
They are in our city as honored guests while negotiations are finalized. We have mutual goals that align.
We heard.
Curious.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you understand.
They don't bargain. They'll get what they want, and then they'll kill you.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and kind of chuckles and shakes her head.
Maybe being in the dark has left you, as they say, in the dark.
Let me take a guess. Because I know you're not down here out of the goodness of your hearts. What exactly are you hoping to gain by coming down here?
What does it matter?
Oh, it matters greatly. Because, and she kind of looks over all of you and grins, you're adventurers, aren't you? You're just down here because it profits you. Am I wrong?
We're after the pistol.
Because...
Sure.
Ignorance says, Axe says. Plus...
She's right.
Yes.
That's all she wants to know.
Well, there's one other thing. It gives us the satisfaction of besting those little bastards. Again.
Well, on that much I can trust you, to be honest, but... And she snaps her fingers and points to Asari. There it is. You're in this for profit, so you may not understand exactly what the situation is. Is it really so hard to believe that two groups of people can agree over shared convictions beyond monetary gain?
I'm going to say yes, considering that's where most wars begin.
The last time Ostiliant went to war, it wasn't for money. It was because they refused to acknowledge our ladyship's will, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't forgotten. There are shinier things than gold in the world.
Hey, as an archaeologist, how much do exactly...
Mm-hmm.
So send you a message that's important, Matthew.
Okay. While I'm answering that, go on, sorry.
As an archaeologist, how much would I accurately know
About
their religion?
Their religion?
Make a religion check.
It was a fairy because I'm a smarty.
I mean...
Don't push.
Into that. Oh, plus. And 14.
You know that the Dark Elves worship Arachne, who is not technically a goddess, although the Dark Elves' worship of her has effectively elevated her to similar enough status. You know that this is largely what drives their, let's call it, extreme cultural traditions, as they see it as Arachne's will and favor. Whether that's true or not is anyone's guess. Very few, even among the Dark Elves, have the good fortune to directly commune with the gods. And their wants and desires frequently change.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you know that they worship Arachne, which is what kind of inspires a lot of their cultural traditions and practices. And as a result, they tend to reject most other gods, as given Arachne's history, it would be kind of disrespectful to actively worship other gods besides her. Although you do know they do hold some reverence for the gods Freya and Freyr, as they are seen as the divine creator of elves. But beyond some reverence for their names, they do not typically actively worship them.
You... Let me think about how I want to phrase this very specifically. Give me a second.
She kind of frowns as she looks over all of you and, mind if we hurry this along?
Well, got places to be.
I do, actually. A place you won't ever have the good fortune to see, Sunblood.
Yeah, I have my own place to go.
I don't care whether you believe me or not. I'm simply telling you as it is. There are more things to be motivated by than selfish material gain, and that is something the Boomergangers and my people can agree on. I don't see why even a Sunblood man would be so foolish as to actively work against their own best interest for no other reason than petty satisfaction. That's something I think is reserved for you.
I'll take whatever I can get. Petty satisfaction sounds pretty darn good to me.
Hmm.
You don't think that you aren't pretty satisfaction not telling us anything and being stubborn? Even though you're clearly outnumbered, we have you on the, hanging on by.
Oh, well,
Easy.
you know what? You're absolutely right, miss. What can I do that will mean you spare my life and continue on down to Ostiliant while I lick my wounds up here? Go on, I'm listening.
No, you're very fine.
Well, then I see no reason to do anything but my current course of action.
David's going to come over, and he's going to say, how about you consider how you want to go? Do you want to be left here for that thing to come back and eat and feast on you, or would you like it to be quick? And he's going to, and he finishes the sentence with Chatib.
She stares at you for a long second. Yeah. She stares at you for a long second, and Grelog, you have just enough time to take in her adjusting her grip on a small needle between her fingers as she goes to lunge at Ivaben's neck. But you see it in time that you can try to stop her if you wish.
Yeah, I will step in between them. I will try to restrain her, but if it comes down to it, just let the needle hit him instead.
I'll tell you what, make me a dex save.
To be honest, so nice to you
So
today.
that was a
Jesus.
natural 20, so that's 21.
Okay. Avaben, you have just enough time to take in that she's about to jab you in the neck with a needle before Grelog yanks you back and stands in between. And Grelog, you just barely manage to catch her arm before it plunges into your chest instead. And she doesn't seem surprised by this, although she does gasp and spit some blood onto the stone floor. And she looks up at you and in Undercommon responds to you. You belong in either the bedroom or the kitchen, boy.
Avaben, alright, the problem is they're so low on health.
Yeah, they have literally one health.
Is there some way that Avaben could shoot an arrow into their leg without killing them?
Okay, I'll tell you what. You can, because if you just damage them, they're not going to die instantly unless you do enough damage to kill them twice over. It will just knock them out, but if you don't even want to knock them out, you just want to put them in pain, I will allow you to try.
You want them specifically to be on the ground, but not unconscious or dead.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Make me an attack roll just flat, and basically I'll use this as a judgment. Again, worst case scenario, unless you somehow do a crazy amount of damage, you're not going to kill them instantly. Worst case scenario, you just knock them out.
Okay, that is going to be... What is that? Okay. That is going to be... Hang on, I gotta do a little mental math.
Yeah.
26 in total.
Okay. Drawing...
That's the attack roll.
Yeah. All right.
Not the damage.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I was actually just double checking. Unless you crit, you literally couldn't do enough damage to kill her instantly. So, drawing your the arrow that you had filched from the mole, you fire it into their thigh, and Grelog, you can just kind of let her fall if you want, or do you want to hold her up?
I'm going to hold her up so she doesn't completely just crumble.
All right. Avaben, you manage to plunge an arrow into her thigh, and she lets out a and actually shoves you off of her, Grelog, as she crumples to the ground and starts coughing up blood and clutching at her leg.
Going to immediately pen them, and is going to say undercommon. It's like, I'm going to make you regret that. And he's going to take an arrow and he's going to go like he's about to shove it into their eyes slowly.
Make an intimidation check.
Natural 20.
You can see her face stays still, but she does not take her eyes off of the head of the arrow. And after a long, tense pause, she lets out a hiss of breath that smells of blood and infection. What do you want to know?
Was any of the others asking any questions in particular?
Where do they know where the dagger is? What? Not dagger. Sorry. Pistol is located.
He'll say, where's that fucking pistol?
I don't know. I actually don't. That's information trusted only to the noble houses and what families can pay for the information. The Boomergangers know.
Which noble houses? Can you give me a thorough description of what their head house looks like the leading member?
There's no head house, not these days. But the ones we're trusting to lead the charge, they're just down the tunnel in the tallest house on the side of the cliff.
And what do they look like?
Dark elves. Fairly attractive by our standards, I think. It's a woman. The matriarch is all that's left. Lost her husband and son in a tragic accident, I'm afraid.
Approach her.
She kind of looks upside down at you as you approach, Paul, and still definitely hostility in her eyes, but the fear seems to have kind of subsided it into maintaining a sort of respectful neutrality.
I'm gonna simply, not saying a word, Paul's going to touch her, lay on hand.
And I'm sorry for what's about to happen, but Avaben is in a very bad mood. Can Avaben stab Paul's hand?
Paul, do you consent to PvP?
Okay.
Make an attack roll, Avaben.
And
what should I consider this with if he does it with an arrow?
This will be improvised.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know what my plus is to improvise.
In this case, it's just your strength. No, unless you have proficiency, no other modifiers.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do it. Okay. Shit, I already said I was gonna do it with the arrow. I probably can't take it back now. Because I don't think I would be able to... I know I wouldn't hit. The only way I might even hit is if he had done it with the short sword.
Possibly.
What do you roll, DM? Am I committed to the arrow?
Okay, I'll say, Paul, you consented to the PvP. Is it okay if he switches to a more effective attack, or would you prefer he go with the one he had initially said before he realized the role in question?
I don't mind either way.
I don't even know if it's going to hit with the better weapon either, so...
Yeah. So yeah, he seems fine. So I'll say short sword, sure, if you prefer.
All right. It'll be 17 in total.
All right, Paul's that hit.
He is 19.
And
All
he's going to say, as he does, he's going to tell him to fuck off. Maybe after they answer questions, maybe.
He's gonna look at him, look back at her. Continue to heal him.
All right. How much healing do you want to pump into her?
Quite a bit of the damage, so on 1 HP. No, I'll do 5.
Okay. Brings her up to 6.
Avaven's going to immediately attack her.
Okay. Roll to hit, and you have advantage because she is prone, and if you hit, it will automatically crit.
Okay. First roll. I'm going to note that he's going to specifically try to not kill her.
Okay.
So that is going to be... Okay, that's the better roll, so... Plus 6... That's got to be a 24 in total.
That is a hit. Roll for damage, and you automatically crit.
Okay, I might not need to worry about it. So I double the result.
Yeah, you roll damage, double what you rolled, and then add modifiers.
Okay, so that is going to be 2 plus 3 equals 5.
All right.
So he's going to immediately undo the healing that Paul did.
All right. Paul, you watch as Avaven plunges the sword into her side, and she lets out another gasping scream of pain, and kind of bites out.
Say, do you want to extend this further?
I'm answering your question, Sunblood. Nothing else I can do.
No, he's looking to Paul whenever he says that. Basically saying, do you want to heal them again so I can stab them again?
Let's... I react to this.
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
This sounds like a challenge. So, I mean, you know, I'm gonna cast a spell on the girl.
All right, what would you like to cast?
On the lady, I would like to cast Sanctuary.
Ooh, okay. All right, ward a creature within range till spell ends. Any creature's targets. Okay. Unless she makes a hostile action, anyone who tries to do anything directly harmful to her has to make a wisdom save or be forced to not. And you can see at this, she can kind of feel the spell effects like ambiently, and she actually pauses and kind of glances over her shoulder a bit blearily given all the pain she's in, but to her credit, she seems to be taking it well. Kind of looks to you, Paul, and taking a second to catch her breath and spit some more blood just on the ground, not at anyone. She shakes her head and, I swear, I don't have any idea where the pistol actually is. They didn't tell any of us so that none of us would run off with it. The only one who knows is the lady of the house and the boomer gangers, or at least they will once negotiations have concluded. We're just getting a few dissidents out of the city first.
Were there any other
description of I need detail.
And real quick, what were you going to say, Vivian?
I was going to ask, were there any other people from the surface that came down here recently?
Besides the Boomergangers, a few elves from Sherwood wondering why we weren't upkeeping our end of the bargain. Like I said, we have a few dissidents we've been clearing out. They're rotting in the jailhouse for the time being, and then once our deal is concluded, we'll give them over to the Boomergangers to do whatever they like.
Down with their questions now.
And she tilts her head to look over your shoulder at Grelog, and... What do you want from me?
Just information.
I don't think they can give you a
He's
description.
He's going to, at this point, do a slight twirl and instantly change into what she looks like.
Well, what she described.
I have plans.
Lady Black or Dark Elf.
You know, I'm turning into the one that we're interrogating.
Yeah.
Oh.
She kind of shakes her head and rolls her eyes a little bit, and as I understand it, we tend to look somewhat similar to Sunbloods, but fine, if it matters to you that much. A dark elf. She's a beautiful woman. A bit on the older side. Gray skin, red eyes, and white hair.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Does that seem to... Would that sound familiar to a Vaben?
I will say, as far as you know, that she isn't lying. That is genuinely a fairly typical appearance for a dark. That'd be like saying it's a human man with a tint of brown skin, a tint of brown hair, and brown eyes. Like that could be like 800 different fucking people. But I will say, for what it's worth, that's pretty much what you see when you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You said they had something happen with their husband and son?
She gives a nod, and her husband took ill after their son, unfortunately, couldn't cut it.
How long ago was this?
She actually pauses to think, and you imagine the fact that she's basically actively bleeding out isn't helping, but she thinks for a moment, and as I recall, easily over 15 years ago, the Kakalon crime family took over not that long after, so yeah, it would have been about 15 years ago, give or take a few.
The Vaben is... Vaben is gripping his short sword very tightly.
And at this point, Grelog is going to try to turn into the description that he was given.
For fun, make me a performance check.
Being that this seems to be over, you know, Paul is going to try to heal her again.
All right, healing hands or cure wounds, what are you going to do?
Cure wounds, second level.
All right, roll.
Alright. Touching her, she heals a total of 8.
Okay. She now has 9 health. Okay. Give me just a second. Just Avaben, as you turn, just kind of collecting your thoughts and coming to yourself as you simply just let Paul heal the woman as you take in what you were just told. Make me a wisdom save with disadvantage.
shit. I guess he rolled well on performance.
How far away is he?
Is Grelog or Avaven?
Grelog from me.
He went over here to investigate the bodies. He's about 20 feet from you.
Oh,
Okay.
I already know he's gonna fail this. It is going to be... What was it, a wisdom?
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save, so that'll be +2, so that'll be 6.
Okay.
My +2 wouldn't help. I thought it was Grelog that had to do the roll.
Oh no! It was Avaven.
Yeah, my +3 wouldn't do much there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Avaben, as you take in what you were just told, you turn. While it's missing a few details, the resemblance is passable enough. You see your mother standing down the hall from you with a blade in hand and a torch held aloft, surrounded by the bodies of your own kind.
I think Matthew knows how Avaben's going to react to this.
Avaben, what do you do?
You know.
Well, I don't like to presume.
Go ahead, shoot him with the arrow.
Do you actually attack, Avaben?
I was gonna say that, like, Avaben just freezes
All right.
for a second.
You all watch as Avaben, who had previously been like the picture of energy and aggression, suddenly just goes completely still.
How is it? Is this close enough for the parent?
That's closer to how she looked in her prime, admittedly, but it'll do.
I need to pass now. What would you suggest changing?
What? You expect me to tell you how to infiltrate the city, disguise yourself as one of our highest authorities, so that you can sabotage a deal that's going to benefit my people for generations to come? Go fuck yourself.
Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. And he's gonna look at Ivan. You seem to be. What would you suggest?
Avaben does not answer, from the sounds of it.
Would
Perhaps
turning
some
white
salt
as a
and
sheet?
pepper?
Does turning white as a sheet show through a glamour?
Yeah, actually. You all watch as Avaben's disguised form grows gradually more pale, and it looks like he's on the verge of passing out.
At this, Grelog will go back to his usual form.
They will just back away from where he was holding the other person down.
Good, Ivan? They're usually not so quiet.
Ivan just stands up and says, fine.
Flowerfall, what are you doing?
They're just kind of watching all this happen. This feels a little awkward. Mean lady, why do you hate Sunbloods?
She kind of raises an eyebrow to you and smirks a little bit. And because their ways of life are backwards, primitive, and dangerous.
I guess you could say that about a lot of people who aren't like you.
We can. Which is part of the problem. Even a lot of the Underdark is not as civilized as we'd like. But with any luck, that'll change soon.
Not if we have anything to do.
Oh, I bet. But your magic may have gotten you past a patrol of guards who weren't expecting it, but you'll find the Boomergangers much tougher fish to fry, especially with the entire army of Ostelion backing them up.
We've already dealt with a group of them. They're not that.
And she turns to you, Grelog, and I refuse to give you anything that will put her ladyship in danger, but... And she glances to Ivabin. If it promises me a quick death, I'll give you a name.
Give me a name, and I'll deliver a quick death myself.
She smiles and... Lady Pepper of House Istili.
He will memorize the name, and then look at Paul and ask him to drop the sanctuary.
And Avabin, as soon as she says that name, it pierces through your dissociative cloud. House Istili. Believing themselves to be the greatest of all houses. The house you were raised to serve in. And that is your last thought before you lose consciousness. Avabin's skin turns ever whiter before he slumps to the ground.
I will see if I can figure out what's wrong with them.
Make a medicine check.
Alright. Decent-ish, not really at that.
Do you have anybody who's good at medicine?
I am.
Let me check.
Sorry.
I think Sari's good with medicine.
Well, he ain't gonna
Grelog's
know what's
good.
wrong.
I have 8.
Paul, looking him over, he doesn't seem hurt. He feels a little cold to the touch, though. He might be sick, but you're not sure.
Okay.
But did Paul drop the shield?
Paul, do you drop your sanctuary on the captain, or do you maintain it?
I'm still thinking about that. I'm just like, do I really want her dead?
But I understand Paul doesn't really want to kill Bloodstings.
Well, I mean, I think that's an acceptable impulse.
Yeah.
Paul doesn't want anyone to die.
Hmm.
The whole group dying was like was not him. He didn't really care for that either.
But Grelog will look at Paul and say, "It's what she wants at this." I think she's earned that right to make that decision for herself.
Wait. Here. What if we took her prisoner?
No problem.
Oh, Lady Arachne, I'd rather you just killed me.
I'm sure you would. I'm gonna try to cast Enlarge/Shrink on her, which shrink her. She has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Everyone else.
How long does that last?
Let me see. This is more just fucking with her, to be honest.
Yeah.
Large slash.
What's the DC?
1 minute.
14.
She succeeds, but barely.
Damn.
You go to sprinkle some pixie dust on her, but she kind of limps out of the way, and kind of sneezes and.
Hey, don't move out of the way.
Stop it.
I
Wait,
actually just say, don't move out of the way.
wait. She looks around, and you notice her gaze lands on you, Paul.
Mm.
And she stares at you specifically for a long moment before. You'll never make it past the gates without my help. Not without alerting everyone in Ostiliant, Boomerganger and Dark Elf alike where you are. I can get you past the gate without being seen. At that point, kill me.
Well, it sounds like for y'all's benefit, she still has usefulness, right?
Don't flatter yourself, Sunblood. I'm not going to the Great Web with a debt to a man. This is payment for healing my wounds, nothing more.
No. I appreciate that.
She kind of gives you a non-committal nod and... Pick up the small one. We need to keep moving.
Alright, well, I'm going to cast Detect Poison and Disease. See if I can see if there's anything wrong with them on that.
Alright. As you
Can I
cast...
do a medicine check on either of them as well?
Alright, go ahead and roll medicine. Paul, as you cast Detect Poison and Disease, you don't detect anything wrong with Avaven. However, you do note that the needle that she had dropped and the bolts of her crossbow, neither of which she is equipped with any further, both were laced with poison. However, you do not see anything else on her person, so if she has any other hidden weapons, they're at least not poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 15.
Looking over Avaben, he doesn't seem sick, but given that he's cold to the touch and seemed to just pass out when he saw your current form, you imagine just shocked him so badly that he just conked out.
Poor little guy got so scared from seeing me, just passed out.
A Sunblood man should be afraid of her ladyship.
Mm.
She's a fierce woman who doesn't take fools kindly nor strike bargains with them. Something healthy for all of you to bear in mind.
I really wish there was some way for this stupid thing to wear off.
Where?
I like how we did this whole glamour thing, and then immediately went to the one place where Avaven probably actually might have been better off without it.
Yep. I was thinking that the whole time you guys were setting up the glamour plan, but...
Come on, passing out doesn't affect it.
He didn't create the magic, the sprite did.
Whoever created the sprite has control of the magic.
Then maybe the others would actually put two and two together too.
Or if you ask Grelog, because druids can change their spells, right?
What?
What?
Thing?
If I take a long rest, I can change my spells, right?
Oh.
Let me check.
No, actually don't know. I don't even think sorcerers.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Hold on. Spellcasting and cast prepared.
I'm not mistaken. Sorcerers also can't their spells. Might be like on level up. I know like warlocks have that.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Here, I'll go ahead and double check. But anything else while you guys are here?
At this point,
Guess I'll pick up.
though,
I've been.
Yeah, you can change prepared spells when you finish a long rest.
Okay.
how is Grelog feeling after having taken that needle to the chest?
Well, no, she didn't hit you with it. You managed to basically disarm her before it made contact.
Okay.
You
I
weren't
thought I
poisoned.
did.
Yeah, because you weren't poisoned. Otherwise, I would have sensed it.
Yeah. All right. Flower and Fall, you get to keep moving?
Yeah, so Grelog will mention the fact that he has Dispel Magic if he can get a long rest.
Yeah, I eventually get that, but enough level.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help us now. He's unconscious.
Yeah, so he will pick up other than
The woman looks to you, Grelog, and do you intend to look like that the whole way?
Oh no, he dropped that form.
Oh, okay.
After Ivan had passed out,
Okay.
he had dropped the form.
Okay. She nods to all of you, and I understand that you don't trust me, but I've already told you what the alternatives are. I'm going to need a weapon of some kind to make it convincing that you're my prisoners.
I passed her back her weapon that I had taken from her.
Mm-hmm.
You can see her actually look visibly very surprised at how readily you do so, and she kind of holds the sword and crossbow in her hands for a moment, considerably before sheathing the sword and putting the crossbow on her belt. And all right, I'll lead the way through the tunnels. I know how to make my way back. At that point, I'll go behind all of you, and if anyone asks, you were caught by the patrol, I'm the only survivor, but I'm taking you straight to the jailhouse for the Boomergangers to deal with you. At that point, you can kill me and make your way into Hostiliant all you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you really want to die, or would you be willing to walk off after that point and never bother us again?
I will let Lady Arachne judge me as she sees fit.
I think that's fair. And he will start walking.
She kind of watches you walk ahead and pauses for a moment before limping towards you, Paul, as Flower and Fall and Asari are getting ready to head out, finishing up disassembling camp. And she stares at you for a long moment, Paul, and finally, after a glance to have been unconscious over your shoulder. Why?
Well, if I'm being honest, I didn't like what they were doing. You were giving information, and yet they were going as far as to continuously hurt you, even though necessary.
You can see she actually looks like visibly a bit touched, and after a moment of consideration, where did you learn to do that? I've never seen magic heal someone before.
Okay. History?
Yeah, roll me history.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because I remember what you and I had established, so yeah, roll history.
3. Yeah, 3.
You don't remember. As far as you recall, you just had those abilities as far back as you could remember. It just always came naturally to you.
I'll kind of think about this, and I would tell you if I could, but memories are a bit of a fickle thing right now.
You live a fraction of my lifespan, but you can't be bothered to remember it.
Less bothered and more just something seemed blocked out, or not sure.
Well, that's quite a gift. I've never seen something like that before.
I think.
She seems like she wants to say more, but kind of hesitates for a moment before shaking her head and limping forward and calling further ahead down the tunnel. Hold on, man. I said I'm leading the way. and she kind of limps to catch up to Grelog, kind of clutching at her wounded side, which thankfully the active bleeding has stopped, so it's more just keeping pressure on it and making sure it doesn't get infected.
For fun, he's going to turn into a dark elf woman, just because the men seem to be discriminating.
Whenever she sees your new form, she initially seems kind of startled, but she looks you over quickly and seems to realize what's going on and kind of smirk, especially since she had seen you do this already, and kind of smirks a little bit. And, well, just make sure you remember which body you're in before we get to the gates. Otherwise, you're going to blow this whole thing wide open, I believe is the Sunblood term.
Good point. I'll take this one back on once we get past.
It's for the best.
And he'll go back into his fire genasi almost cave.
Come on, everyone. We're burning cave light. With any luck, we'll catch them on the night patrol.
Alright. Onward.
And with that, she begins to lead you all further down into the tunnels. A enemy turned surprising guide, at least for the time being. Although, Avaben being unconscious does not consciously think of it, but Asari, being the astute, observant person that you are, it does concern you a little bit that she seems to be hoping that the party encounters the night patrol, which for the Dark Elves would be the more active one. Where her loyalties lie at this point is something known only to those who are capable of reading thoughts. And she, for now, is keeping a tight lip on it, as she leads you guys down to Ostiliant, the city which seems to be in a genuine, motivated pact with the Boomergangers, some mysterious agreement that, at the very least, the Dark Elves seem convinced will benefit both of them and give the Boomergangers minimal reason to actively go against them. But whether that's true remains to be seen, as you guys only have a little bit further to the grand jewel of the Underdark, the Dark Elf city of Ostiliant, Avaben's birthplace, where, from the sounds of it, his mother is leading the negotiations with the Boomergangers for the Dark Elves to sell out the Sherwood Elves in exchange for safety and an agreement and pact with the Boomergangers. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I knew it.
That's be glad I didn't try to amplify it like I usually do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't get why Matthew gets so mad about it.
Oh, it's not that I get mad about it. It's more that, like, for everyone else, it, like, you know, I'm like doing this grand, like, outro, like, you know, oh, you guys are
adding some effect. It's not like I'm talking over your outro. I'm just trying to, add some of that. It's like on songs. Like, you ever heard of those songs that have like a second track below it?
But songs don't have to deal with Discord input lag.
That's a very good point.
If you want to see more of my DMing, check out twitch.tv/GrahamCrackers, GRAMECRACKERZ, for my Friday campaign, The Goldshine Investigations, at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, featuring a party of investigators unraveling the cultish mystery that threatens to plunge their continent into war. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info, resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer torturing a dark elf, but then befriending her immediately after. It's amazing what...
That is a strong word.
It's something that I don't even intentionally do in my campaigns, as a side note, but I do love the running thing that's happened of like I love how the first time Avaven tries to torture someone, they get the information, but like the person ends up forming a fucking blood pact with one of the party members that could kill one of them if shit goes south. And then the second time he tries it, it does get information, but she doesn't actually start helping until Paul shows her mercy.
Like how both situations Paul, because Paul's the one who made the blood pact.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, I wonder if that's going to be a continuing trend. Yeah, Avaven tries to torture someone every chapter, and then Paul has to like smooth it over to actually get the info.
Avaven has a reason why he was so aggressive towards her.
Oh no, yeah. I'm not saying it's like complete. I'm more just like I'm more noting it as it's interesting, not like shitting on any particular character.
He was aggressive towards the first guy because he just didn't like the way he was talking. And this one, it's kind of more of a mental thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly and support our episodes posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network. Wherever you happen to get them from, they're wherever. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. And catch us on YouTube on our channel of the same name if you want to catch up on what you missed. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our freshly recomputered Paladin at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. I'm about to post that link. Or on Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized, just so you know. If you enjoy this party and want to see more of them, plus or minus a few, check in tomorrow on Tuesdays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time on all the same channels to see our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of nobles and politicians trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can stop trying to stab each other in the back long enough to actually do it. I think that's about it for me, though. So, thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Yay.